Feral Lock Shaman. I think this is a matchup is classically kind of gone either way. I don't think either comp has a huge advantage going forward, so we're just going to have to see what strategies these guys come out with out of the gates. It's going to be a high-pressure game either way, depending on what 2RETS does. We'll have to see what their target choice is.
You know, of course, Inviolable is going to be playing a survival. Love that constant pressure. He's going to have a lot of setups and a lot of crowd control for his Feral, so we'll have to see how well both these teams play. You know, Resto Shamans are always a great target to kill, so we're going to have to see how well Sea-Doo and Joxy can play to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see how they decide to open up. It looks like Snuts is the target of choice. Sea-Doo getting bashed up immediately, and Viable trying to push in to get a trap onto Sea-Doo. It does land. Snuts doing everything he can to minimize the damage taken. Shadow Fury coming out onto his team. Joxy actually getting bashed up as well. Looks like Beanslayer is able to connect on him a little bit. The Cyclone going out onto Panther as well. Snuts popping that Demon Soul. Wants to get aggressive, wants to get some damage out, but so many of his dots are just being dispelled by Joxy over and over and over. And Viable taking a little bit of pressure right now. Beanslayer still has his Incarnation as well as his Berserk available. Snuts only using one of his Demon Souls as well. A lot of pressure coming up from Team Method early, though, onto 2RETS.
Yeah, I like this damage, but that Dark Soul, again, is going to fade right there. Of course, he is going to be playing Archimonde's Darkness, so he's going to have two. But look at the health pools of Joxy. Knowing he's not going to have to just quite use his Spirit Link just yet, as we do see that Incarnation coming out from Beanslayer. It is about half gone at this point, so he has been putting out a lot of damage along with Snuts, so that was their first big offensive push with cooldown. Yeah,
Sea-Doo actually decided to trinket early, so he has no trinket available for the next incoming CC chain. Snuts is going to have to do a great job playing defensive, use his Dark Regen, using his Gateway as well as his Portal to kite it as far away as possible, immediately porting as soon as Sea-Doo gets bashed. The Gateway coming out as well. Sea-Doo caught into that full trap. Snuts is on his own, but Joxy and Viable and Panther all taking so much damage. That is the Incarnation and Berserk as well as the last Demon Soul coming out from Snuts. If Joxy can sort of recover here, they might be okay from now, but he's having such a hard time getting out these heals. Healing Surge coming out, and Viable getting so low, down to 10% HP, that Deterrence comes out at the last second, and Joxy is getting put into that full cycle, and he still has Shrink as well, both links available, but it doesn't do too much if everyone's dangerously low, and Viable's second Deterrence coming out as well. Joxy throwing out the every single heal that he has. Beanslayer getting trapped up there by Viable as well, but Joxy just cannot top off his team. Finally getting some big heals. Sea-Doo getting caught into a clone. Snuts in a little bit of trouble right now. Does still have his regen available if he needs it, but he's taking a lot of damage at the moment.
It was a great play by Joxy right there. You know, he did dispel off that UA off of Inviable and then stone formed it off, so that is going to put his trinket on cooldown, as it is going to come back in 15 seconds. But look, even Zev's taking a bunch of damage playing the Feral Druid Panther, down to half right now. So it looks like Method can just go on whoever they want during this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Joxy now caught into a bash. It looks like he is the target of choice for Method. Snuts trying to load him up with dots at the moment. He's trying to get away the best he can. Snuts still in a lot of trouble, though. Sea-Doo doesn't have his trinket for another 24 seconds. This is the full bash. Snuts has to live this. Spamming out the fears over and over and over. Panther actually caught into that Cyclone. Beanslayer just throwing everyone into a Cyclone. And Viable, Panther just getting CC'd over and over and over. The Stampede and Roar coming out from Beanslayer, trying to help Snuts get away, trying to help him kite just a little bit. Sea-Doo caught into the full trap. Doesn't have his trinket available for another 6 seconds. And he doesn't have a Spirit Link as well, so it's going to be hard for him to actually top off Snuts when he does get out of CC.
Yeah, and Snuts ported immediately when he saw that Sea-Doo was going to get crowd controlled right there. Really bought him some time. Sea-Doo was able to sit through that without burning any cooldowns and was able to heal Snuts up after that moment. As you see, Zevs is really pushing in. Looks like he is going to get a main mon to Sea-Doo, tries to Cyclone, but he does get Cycloned himself by Beanslayer, so he is going to be able to get that full Cyclone off. Inviable also being Cycloned.
Yeah, Snuts actually having to use a Void Walker right now as well, so he doesn't have that Spell Lock available. Beautiful port, getting as much distance as possible as Sea-Doo is caught in that full trap. He does have Trinket available. The Crow's coming out, though, from Inviable on his Snuts. Snuts dipping dangerously low, hovering around 50% HP right now. Joxy getting cloned up from Beanslayer. Wanted to get him low and then put him into that Cyclone, so the 2RETS entire team rots down a little bit from the spread pressure of this Warlock and Shaman. A huge clutch heal coming in from Sea-Doo onto Snuts before he gets the Bash Cyclone onto him. Snuts was topped off before the CC chain, so well done by Sea-Doo at the moment. Joxy doing a great job just dispelling off Snuts' dots over and over. It's so hard for Snuts to actually get out pressure with Joxy dispelling and being trained down by this Feral and this Hunter.
Now that is going to be both the Berserk and the Incarnation coming out of Zevs, but Sea-Doo doing a great job of keeping his team alive during this, as Snuts isn't taking too much damage quite yet, but Joxy is going to have to use that Ascendance, burning through those defensive cooldowns. He still has the double Spirit Link available, though, which is huge.
Yep, absolutely. Sea-Doo actually getting maimed up there, pounced up there into a trap, so well done by Panther and Inviable getting that CC out. Snuts very, very in trouble here. He does have his Dark Regen coming up right now, but he's hovering around 20% HP. Sea-Doo does not have any cooldowns to top him off, just trying to do everything he can. So not spamming out that damage still. Joxy's mana actually getting dangerously low. Sea-Doo is winning that mana war, so if they can stall this game a little bit longer, that might be something that factors in. But right now, Snuts is just having such a hard time getting healed up from Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo finally able to top him off right before the bash comes in. So once again, well done by Sea-Doo. Spirit Link is coming out for Sea-Doo as well, so he is going to be able to fall back on that cooldown. Joxy having a hard time healing up his team, though. Everyone is rotting down to around 50% HP. That was Beanslayer's second incarnation Berserk, though, just a little while ago. Joxy now down to 15% HP. Dispels you away. 2% is going to go down. That Dispel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, look, he still had, you know, a couple seconds left on his trinket, so maybe he just didn't have a choice in terms of damage, but he's sitting on 2 Spirit Links.
Yeah, he had both Spirit Links down. Maybe if he didn't Dispel, he would have been able to get that off. I'm not exactly sure what happened there at the end, but that was a little bit unfortunate for Joxy. I mean, he had a lot of cooldowns to deal with the damage coming out from Beanslayer and Snuts. He just wasn't able to get it off.
Yeah, and look at Sea-Doo tossing out those 60k lava bursts. So he's even tossing, and he must have done 2, as you can see his damage dealt. So, you know, finding those opportunities to add in extra damage for your team. And of course, if you look at the time in CC, they were really controlling Sea-Doo throughout most of that match. A couple times, Snuts was, you know, getting dangerously low, but like you said, every single time that Sea-Doo knew that that crowd control was going to come in, whether he was off DR or that the talents, and I do believe the exact same glyphs too. Yeah, they are. So they're going to be evenly matched in terms of cooldowns. Again, when you guys see down below the cooldowns, if you see that 2, that means they're playing a talent or a glyph that gives them 2 charges. So of course, both of them are going to be playing Echo of the Elements for 2 Spirit Link charges, and of course, they're both playing the glyph of Purify Spirit, which gives them 2 charges of Dispel, as you can see.
And we'll have to see which strategy that 2 RETS decides to open up with this game. It's kind of up to them what they want to do at the beginning of this game. Snuts getting that Demonic Gateway out. Very, very useful last game. Looks like Panther is going to open up onto Snuts right away. Sea-Doo being put into that bash. Beanslayer actually eating the trap. Well done by him. Sea-Doo not going to be CC'd at the beginning of this game. Snuts going to be A-OK for now, getting out his first haunt of the game. Joxy being loaded up with dots at the moment. Looks like he is the target of choice for Team Method. Demon Soul being popped by Snuts, immediately having to use that Voidwalker, so he's not going to have that counterspell available from his other pet. Joxy actually getting cloned up from Beanslayer, so well done by Beanslayer, making sure he's pressuring Joxy and putting him to the Cyclones and just making it really hard for Joxy to get healed out of his entire team.
Yeah, Beanslayer did use the Incarnation, followed by the Berserk after they had that short Cyclone onto Joxy because they were switching it on to Inviolable. And of course, those great memes are going out on to Zevs, who's playing the Feral Druid Panther, as Inviolable is down to half right now, taking a whole lot of damage, but we do see the full trap onto Sea-Doo, but Snuts, wow, Snuts now taking a bunch of damage in response is going to turn it around, which is second Dark Soul as that Earth Shield comes back up. So Sea-Doo is out of CC and is able to toss some heals, and look at that massive healing surge coming out due to that
Yeah. Joxy actually getting Shadow Feared with Inviolable there. Got Shadow Feared on his heel. Well done by Snuts. That is his second Demon Soul coming out from Snuts. Beanslayer and Snuts don't have cooldowns available for a little bit of time, but they do have quite a bit of pressure right now. Joxy being loaded up with dots once again on that Dispel of UA. Snuts getting dangerously low, down to 20% HP. Sea-Doo having to throw out the first Spirit Link of the game. Luckily for him, he still has his Trinket available. Just wanted to make sure Snuts was topped off. Didn't want to have to use his Trinket a little bit later on, so the preemptive Spirit Link coming out from Sea-Doo. Knew he didn't have the healing to top off Snuts, so well done by him there. Joxy getting a little bit low right now. Beanslayer is on his back, but he does get away, top himself off. Snuts still in a little trouble, down to 50% HP. Sea-Doo just really having a hard time getting out those casts to top off Snuts when he needs to. I'm sure Inviolable and Panther are doing an excellent job with their interrupts this game, but it looks like Snuts is just trying to load everyone up with dots. Beanslayer pulling away a little bit, full clone onto Sea-Doo at the moment, so Snuts is in a little trouble. They can follow that up with a bash into a trap. Sea-Doo might have to trinket that. That is a full trap out of the Cyclone. Snuts down to 20% HP, needs to port on top of Sea-Doo. He gets bashed, isn't able to get the port off, and he does go down. Well done by 2 RETS, making sure Snuts isn't able to port safely over to Sea-Doo, and they're able to take him down because of that.
No, that was really good. That CC chain on to Sea-Doo. Of course, Zev's peeling off right at the start, leaping over to him and getting the Mame out, followed by the Cyclone and waiting for the trap to land also. So great CC chain right there. You know, without that comp swap, you know, they just needed to beat them at their own game, you know, at the start. So it was great. You know, Snuts taking a lot of burst damage in that moment when Sea-Doo was crowd controlled.
Look at the damage that game. Panther 2,900,000, Inviolable 2,000,000.
Glyphs and talents on both the Feral Druids and the Resto Shamans, so they're equally matched up in their decisions there. And of course, we have a Survival Hunter again with Inviolable, and I don't see anything odd out of him. He is going to be playing Crows and Glaive Toss, as it looks like Snuts is going to be playing Blood Horror this time. But again, Soulburn Haunt, Archimonde's Darkness, the usual stuff that we expect out of an Affliction Warlock in this matchup.
Yeah, and it's likely we'll see 2 Rets once again stick on to Snuts the whole game. The reason they do that is they can lock down his damage as much as possible. Like we were saying, Joxy can dispel off Snuts' dots, it stops some of the rot pressure, and it just makes it hard for him to actually get up his dots, pardon me, when Inviolable and Panther are on him so hard. Sea-Doo immediately being put into that bash is a good start for 2 Rets at the moment. Snuts playing as far away as possible, trying to get his Haunt up, gets shocked on it though. Sea-Doo caught into that full trap. Snuts in the middle of the map right now. Panther's able to connect, get up his bleed. Snuts in a little bit of trouble right now, running back to Sea-Doo as far as he can. The DR Hacks coming into the cap totem. Snuts immediately so low. Sea-Doo having to throw out the first Spirit Link right away.
And gets killed instantly. Oh no, there it goes. Alright, as it is going to be Sea-Doo in that Cyclone, and we saw the initial damage onto the pet, onto Snuts' pet, and he had to take out the Voidwalker at that point, and it is going to die again, or did he resummon it at this point?
It looks like he has his pet up right now, so he does have the Voidwalker. That means he's not going to have Spell Lock available, so losing a little bit of that Warlock utility. Sea-Doo still, once again, being put into the trap. Hasn't been able to get off too many heals, finally able to get off some, but that is his trinket. He only has Spirit Link left. Snuts does have his Dark Regeneration available, as well as his Gateway when he needs it, so he is going to be able to kite and get away. Joxy right now still just spamming those dispels over and over. He is at 50% HP right now. Beanslayer has connected onto him. That is his Incarnation as well as his Berserk, so a lot of damage coming out, but Joxy using his cooldowns, topping off his team, and now Snuts is in a lot of trouble. The full Cyclone onto Sea-Doo. Snuts needs to get away as best as he can. The Shadow Fear comes out, spamming out those fears. Sea-Doo, little break in the CC, able to get off that Spirit Link totem, so well done by him. Snuts was there that time, so he's going to survive.
Oh, and Inviolable almost caught that explosive trap before Sea-Doo and Snuts were able to sit in that Spirit Link. So that was a great job of, trying to precog that and get that off. As Joxy down to half right now, but like we're saying, he's constantly dispelling, so he's keeping himself at half, but he's keeping his team offensive, which is huge.
Yeah, Snuts does have those crows on him right now. Still not out of the woods yet. Sea-Doo able to get some healing surges off finally. Gets interrupted though into a trap. Snuts is in a lot of trouble. He needs to get away. He does have a gateway available if he needs it. The the Soulburn Port coming out does give him a little bit of freedom. Gates back to Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo still in the main though, and Snuts is gonna go down. 2 Rets just sort of dominating that game from start to finish. Sea-Doo just had such a hard time because he was CC'd the entire game. Look at that, 41 seconds in CC. The next highest was 17 seconds on Joxy.
Yeah, that was a dominating win by 2 Rets at that point.
Yeah.
Sea-Doo constantly getting crowd controlled. They really switched it on to Snuts and dumped a lot of damage. Beanslayer was doing as best of a job as he could. We saw a lot of Cyclones coming out, even when he had his Berserk and his Incarnation. So he was wasting that damage time just to crowd control for his team, but it just wasn't enough.
That's the pace for the rest of the match, of course. Yeah, I think Snuts needs to do a good job just getting his pet away. Like, if they want to tunnel down his pet, he needs to throw it away as far as possible. So at least if they kill it, he can create a lot of distance for them to like reconnect onto him, and he at least can prevent Sea-Doo from using any defensive cooldowns at the beginning of the game.
So it looks like both Feral Druids are going to be playing Typhoon, so watch for those knockoffs by both of them. Other than that, everything is very similar to last match.
Yeah, and the gates are about to open. Method's life is on the line, or sorry, not their life, but they are facing elimination down to the loser's bracket right now. 2 Rets smells victory right now. They are 1 game away from advancing. Looks like they are going to open up onto Snuts right away. Sea-Doo not getting CC'd at the moment, just sort of camping the gateway at the moment, getting caught into that bash. Snuts using the Demon Soul, wants to get aggressive as fast as possible. Joxy getting out the Dispel. The full bash though onto Joxy. Beanslayer going aggressive as well. The Incarnation and Berserk coming out, getting out a lot of pressure at the moment. Joxy's in a little bit of trouble. Snuts able to fully load him up with dots. Sea-Doo could sit that full trap at the beginning of the game. This is the opener that Method wants. They're able to get out a little bit more pressure. Snuts in trouble though, down to 20% HP. Dark Regeneration coming out. Sea-Doo running on top of him, dropping his first Spirit Link. Just didn't have the heals to keep him up, having to trade out that big cooldown Spirit Link right away.
Yeah, as it looks like Joxy's looking pretty good right now in terms of keeping his team alive, as that Ascendance does come out, so he's going to have a little bit more spread healing coming out, as those heals will splash. Now, Snuts is going to have his Demon Soul up. He's about halfway through that. That was his first one, I do believe. Or, oh no, that was his second one? already.
Yeah, Sea-Doo does have one Spirit Link left as well as his Trinket. He just needs to make sure that he's near Snuts. He actually got knocked away. Beautiful knock coming out from Inviolable. The double Shadow Fear though, Inviolable getting dangerously low, down to 10% HP. He is fully loaded up with dots though. Joxy getting caught into that bash, deciding to Trinket. He needs to get the Spirit Link off onto Inviolable. He needs to get close enough. Catches a heal, does Inviolable from Joxy, so he's going to be okay for now. A lot of pressure though coming out from Method. Method now getting bashed up. Sea-Doo dangerously caught into that trap. So Snuts is going to be in a little bit of trouble right here. The full crows as well as full bleeds onto Snuts at the moment, taking a lot of damage. Down to 14% HP. Sea-Doo needs to get the Spirit Link. He needs to get close. He needs to get on top of him. He gets jumped down. Snuts jumps down in desperation. The Spirit Link thankfully connects onto him. He's going to survive another day. But right now, 2 RETS has all the pressure on their side.
Absolutely. Both Spirit Links are down. Ascendance is down. Sea-Doo does have his Trinket and Stone Form available. The big thing that's the difference between these two shamans that I've seen so far is Joxy in those moments of high pressure hasn't been using those Spirit Links and has just been saving them. Able to do gigantic heals onto Inviolable, helped out by that shaman's mastery.
Yeah, and Inviolable wants to get aggressive, though. He is using his offensive Trinket. Snuts down to 40% HP. Sea-Doo does have Trinket available. He doesn't have basically any healing left. He needs to do everything he can to keep Snuts up. Beanslayer getting CC'd up there a little bit, too. Still, 2 RETS has all the momentum in their favor. Snuts in a little bit of trouble, still at 50% HP. Sea-Doo trying to get out those heals. Caught into the Snake Trap. Demon Soul coming out from Snuts. Wants to get aggressive. The offensive cooldowns coming out from Method. Sea-Doo, though, caught into the full clone. Decides to Trinket that right away. Wants to keep Snuts aggressive on this Demon Soul. Joxy down to 50% HP. Does have 2 Spirit Links available if he needs it, but he doesn't have a Trinket. He could die in a stun, potentially. Sea-Doo topping off his team, the full bash coming out. This is most likely going to be followed up with a trap. Joxy now caught into the full clone. No trap, looks like it is coming in. Snuts, everyone's dogpiling onto Sea-Doo, making sure they can't get that trap up, and it looks like for now Sea-Doo's able to get out some heals onto Snuts. Full trap finally coming in, but Snuts has been relatively topped. He needs to get away. He needs to do a good job kiting right now. Jumps down. He is going to be able to use that Z-Access 4 like we were talking about when Sea-Doo gets out of CC when he needs to. The Haunts, though, coming in. Looks like Team Method is going aggressive at the moment. Panther taking quite a bit of damage. Joxy just dispelling off those dots one more time, but he's a little bit low. Beanslayer opening up onto him. This is the incarnation coming out from Beanslayer. He does have Berserkers available as well. Joxy going to be in a little bit of trouble at the moment. He doesn't have any dots on him, but Beanslayer causing a tremendous amount of pressure. Now switching over onto Inviolable, who does have full dots from Snuts at the moment. The pounce is coming in over and over and over, and it looks like Method has swayed the pressure into their favor.
They have, as Sea-Doo is able to toss some heals out, as he is going to be... Oh, it looks like they are going to get back onto him as that full trap comes and lands on Sea-Doo, but look at Inviolable. There we go. First defensive coming out, or the second deterrence, actually, but he is going to have his deterrence back up in about 20 seconds, as Joxy is going to use that Spirit Walker's Grace and the Ascendance to toss out a little bit more healing onto his team, but he gets bashed on it as he's down to about half right now, but Joxy not having any follow-up CC. Normally we see those Cyclones coming out after that, as we do see the Spirit Link finally coming out from Joxy. That's one of the first Spirit Links from Joxy this entire
but Snuts is in a lot of trouble. The trap on the Sea-Doo. Snuts trying to get away the best he can. Down to 4% HP. How is he going to live? Ports up. 1%. Gets finished off by Inviolable, and Sea-Doo drops the Spirit Link. Oh. So close. Snuts almost made it there in time. Sea-Doo was just caught in CC a little bit longer. Sea-Doo actually had his Trinket coming up in around 5 seconds, so that was a well-timed kill by 2 RETS, taking advantage of the fact that Method had no more cooldowns left. An incredibly close game, incredibly close series. 2 RETS is going to take it against Method 3-1.
And that coordination between the crowd control, we saw the Cyclone come out on to Sea-Doo, and then the follow-up was the Capacitor Totem by Joxy. The second that Cyclone ended, the Capacitor Totem landed, and that was it. Sea-Doo wasn't able to get to Snuts at that point and toss that Spirit Link, as you saw on his screen right at the very end. So